All
Hi,
right, Steve. How are
nice to
you?
meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So, I think it's common knowledge now that you went through a lot of work to make sure that you told Victor's story in the most authentic way possible. And in doing so, you enlisted Thomas McBee to help, as well as
Yeah.
Elliot and GLAAD. I'd love to know what you learned through that process, because I think it's so important that not only did you just quickly write the story in and make it authentic, but you really went through those extra steps to make it valid in some way.
Well, great,
What did
great
you
question.
learn?
Well, I learned a lot. I have to tell you, when Elliot called me to tell me, brave, I wasn't expecting the call, and the call came, and Elliot said he was transitioning. Honestly, I didn't know what to say. It was the first time anyone had called me to tell me that. The scripts were all finished for the season, and I had a moment of panic and saying what to do. Now, to Elliot's credit, Elliot made no demands on me. He didn't say, you have to write it in, you have to transition me. He said, I trust you, do it the way you want. And the truth is, I didn't know a lot about transgender. I wanted to know much more about it. And I thought, I can't write the story myself. I don't know the authentic story, to be blunt with you. So that's why I went to Nick Adams at GLAAD, and I went to Thomas McBee, and they taught me a lot. I'm still learning about it. I've learned how trans people have been portrayed in the past in movies in such a negative way is one of the things I learned, through the 70s, 80s, even the 90s, and how wrong that was. That's something that I've really sort of discovered. And the other thing was I've learned how important it is now to tell pro-trans stories. There's a lot of anti-trans hatred in the South, and it's really important that we show that families can absolutely accept trans people, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, and bring them into your family. And that makes no difference, that they're just the person they were before.
Absolutely. So, what was Elliot's reaction after giving you his trust and then you doing all of that extra work to make sure that the story was really told the right way? What was Elliot's reaction?
Well, Elliot was part of the collaborative process, first of all. So I would never do it without talking to him. So he was the first person I gave the scripts to read. And I said, look, you have to be brutally honest with me, what you think about it. And he said, I had tears in my eyes. So that was a relief that he liked it. But even when he, acted out on set, it was a very moving day on set when we shot those scenes, because, it was just so you could see Elliot's body language almost change in the way he acted as Victor. And I remember there was tears that day when we shot those scenes. So it was a really sweet process. But Elliot loved what we had done. You know, I would have rewritten it if he didn't like it. It was important to get it right and be sensitive and authentic. But I'm glad he was happy with it.
I'm a fan of the show, and I've obviously seen many episodes from the newest season, and I see a difference in the way that Elliot played the character season one, season two, season three.
Mm-hmm.
And I would describe season three as it feels more authentic. Would you agree with that?
I would totally agree with that. I said this to Elliot. I said, the way you hold yourself now, it's like 1,000-pound weight off your shoulder, both in real life and the character of Victor. And one of the things that it actually makes me a little sad talking about is there's a couple of times in the show where Elliot, the actor, as Victor, smiles. And it's such a beautiful smile that we hadn't seen in season 1 and 2. And it's just this sweetness and this happiness that is just so delightful to see. And I think that's the real Elliot and Victor, being both very, very happy to find who they really are.
Thank you very, very much for all the work you put into season 3 of Umbrella Academy and just for everything you did. So I want to wrap with saying thank you. I appreciate it as part of the community, and I wish you a very happy Pride Month.
Thank you very much. You too. I appreciate it.